It was a
From
good
your
excuse.
from your files, you come from a middle-class family with an average median household income, and you are able to afford a new oven without installment.
Okay. One, you've read my... That's a lot of information.
Well, I haven't read your personal files, but when it comes to...
Can you?
Well, I can, but I choose to apply discretion.
Thank you. That's really creepy that you...
There was one time where you were considered a yellow rated threat, considering your antics with Minamoto Sensei.
Oh, yeah, so I've worked that off, then.
Yes, you
Cool.
have.
Cool. Good.
I did not come here to chastise you, Kazuhaya.
That's a new one.
But no, due to my position within the student council, I often get first notice of any impending results. And you see that you've made a marked improvement of 300%.
That's pretty good. That's like 3 times.
Yes. It's certainly easy to improve on a 0.
But 3 times 0 would still be 0.
1%.
1. Okay. Much more fair. Anyway, yeah, come in. Enough standing around the lobby.
Is Ryu in the common room, or is he just still there from last night?
He's actually in the common room. He's got the, was it the book on movement of energy or whatever?
All right. So she'll just kind of sit down, and she'll be like, and she'll take out her laptop, and she'll be like, well, I've come here to congratulate you, and that very soon you'll be retrieving a monetary reward. But I wanted to ask you, since I can put in a word towards the Satay Links community department, as to what your interests were in terms of in terms of sponsorship deals and whatnot. We have a variety of networks we're connected to, and usually we can pinpoint it to the student. But since your data file is lacking, I came to ask you personally as well as congratulate you.
Aw, thanks, Tube. Yeah, I know. It just sounded like it'd work as a nickname. Didn't really.
There's no T in my name whatsoever.
Yeah, but there's a T and can't spell team without T. So sponsorship thing?
Yes, we do have a number of affiliates and associates with Mirai Academy. Well, we're not entirely a privatized school. We do receive funding from a variety of sources, including the government.
Right.
Promotion goes a long way when you're talking about the future of Japan, given Japan's declining birth rates.
Yeah. Probably not going to be helping with that much. So, how does the sponsorship option thing work then? Am I going to fucking strap something onto my jacket?
Essentially, it will be an in-game cosmetic effect.
What?
A cosmetic effect on your character's avatar.
Like clothes?
Yes, clothing is one appeal, but there's usually an accessory that can be used on a variety of skins that would be fairly low cost as for people to be able to represent their teams and their ideal brands without sacrificing the overall cosmetic of the character, especially if it doesn't fit with the thematics of the character or their lore.
Lore? Oh, right. The backstory.
Oh yes, most people play the game casually and want to have an immersive experience.
Yeah, I tried to follow that, but Shizuka knows way too much about it, so it kind of slips after a while. It's fun to listen to, though.
Fujikage.
Yeah.
Right.
Fuwa.
Ooh. What?
It's a nickname. You know, like fluffy, like her hair.
Oh, I can see that connection, unlike Tuba.
Listen, I'm workshopping it, okay? How about Chibi? Because, you know, height.
That is the most associated one I get, yes.
Oh, so that's not
Considering my
original.
diminutive status.
So that's not original?
No.
Oh. Alright. Well, I'm out today. So, I make something look different in game for a sponsor.
Right.
Do
And
they pick
obviously,
that, or?
I guess I will go with a more common analogy in order for you to relate further. Is there any celebrity that you followed or have a particular kinship to?
Yeah.
What's their primary occupation?
Primary occupation?
Oh,
Sorry,
yes, a celebrity is a catch-all term.
Well, I mean, I don't know if she'd go with a sports one anymore since she can't because of her demon autism.
Do you want the really easy response?
I was gonna say your sister.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, exactly. That was what my new response is gonna be. Actress.
An actress. I suppose that's a fair bit harder, but I suppose this actress would be on the social media scene, so they'd be promoting a various amount of products, maybe a skincare product or a jewelry line, or indeed they'll be seen wearing these items of clothing, and those who wish to aspire to be like the actress would be intrigued by her taste and thus be more likely to pick from the product brands.
Right. Yeah. Okay, I get it. So I'm gonna pick from a bunch of companies to put something on the character thing, and then wear
You're
that.
not going to. I'm going to.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, the student council we have a filtering process to make sure that there's no stoppages. Oh,
Right.
Rabbit died for me.
Oh, unlucky.
Before
Oh, Rabbit died for me too.
Yep.
Unlucky.
Whoops! One new rabbit cast coming right up.
Anyway.
Does that mean we're all pregnant?
Great.
I missed that joke. Probably for
Yeah.
A long time ago, to test if you're pregnant, they said
Dave
you're
has a
keto
bunny.
rabbits, and if it dies, you're pregnant.
What?
What?
I don't know if they feed it to it, or I don't know how it is, but basically, they kill rabbits with a woman's pee to determine if she was pregnant. That's what they did in the past.
What the fuck Dave are you?
Look it up! I'm not joking!
Sure. Alright, well, yeah, you too, Dave.
I mean, way past my time, too, but it was an old running joke that probably basically is now...
Yeah, an old running joke. Oh, that classic knee slapper.
Old wives' tale.
Is it?
I don't know. Anyway. So. That's cool.
Yes. Well, and she'll be like, I brought my laptop since I distinctly remember you not having your own personal one. Did you manage to borrow one from the academy?
Yeah, I got one of those now, finally.
Is it still functioning?
Yeah.
I
don't break everything.
I can do a scan on it just to make sure.
Fine. I'll go get it.
There we go.
There you go. I swear I didn't break it.
And she'll just kind of look at the. Okay, well, she'll just kind of look at the desktop, and she'll be like, "Why do you have so many icons on there?"
What do you mean?
You should have only a few key ones, otherwise it defeats the point.
Well, how else do I get the things?
Have you ever pressed the start button?
She looks at the keyboard. What's the start button?
Not on the keyboard, on the actual screen.
Gee, but it's not a touchscreen.
No, you can use.
Oh!
Yes.
Oh!
You can
That's
search
useful.
for
Why didn't
specific
anyone tell me that's how it worked?
When you signed up to the course, it was assumed that you had basic computer skills.
See, that's just irresponsible of them.
Yes, an elite academy making assumptions on basic knowledge.
I know, right?
Right.
Next thing you're going to tell me is you have to speak English to take English class.
Yes.
Taking it to learn how to do it. Come on, Jiba.
Well, yes, you need to have a rough working knowledge to base things off of.
Jeez. That's rough.
This brings up a good point. Why didn't you take English as an elective? You from your background and your heritage, you have some foundation in it.
I mean, I only speak like a little. And I mean, I don't know. It's not like I got any family on that side besides mom.
I see.
Yeah. It was kind of like unlucky circumstances.
Well,
They'd just be her and Raph in my immediate circle of people I'd need to talk to. I guess maybe it'd be kind of pick up in the future to speak outside if I really get around in the world, but I haven't really thought that far ahead, I guess.
Well, yes, most countries have adopted English as a secondary, if not tertiary, language.
Yeah. Japanese doesn't really stretch that well, does it?
No, our Chinese counterparts have us well beat on that regard.
Dicks.
But no, I suppose I should inform you of something. You may have been extending your efforts for a reason that may not have been, well, as prevalent as I might have made out to be.
What?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you recently stepped up your efforts into studying for the examinations ahead, based on not wanting to drag down the team.
Yeah.
Well, the tests are obviously based on both teamwork and of individual aspects, and well, there is going to be a transfer bracket. That's how esports works. People don't stay on the same team for very long if they're particularly talented.
Oh.
And I'm not sure if you are aware of that or not.
No. So what does that really...
It means that we may not be on the same team after the break.
Oh. What am I gonna do?
Well, if you manage to succeed at a above average, that's the lowest I can go, then I might be inclined to stay on your team. Besides, I know you personally, and well, I never thought you could do it.
Yeah.
I thought you were taking this class as a joke.
No, I mean, it's one of the only things that would work with my scholarship, and honestly, I mean, put some time in. It seems fun enough, and I can kind of like see the enjoyment from it. So I want to do better at this. I don't want to be stagnant. I'm not just going to sit around and be, at the same level. If I'm going to commit myself to something like this, I'm going to try to get better. But I can tell you personally that I kind of understand it a bit better now.
Well, you do have something in your advantage compared to most other people I've seen within the class. So, well, Well, the main weakness is that you don't have a brain for the theory or the game logic itself. But when it comes to your micro and to your reflexes, well, you're quite peak at that. You don't need to know. You don't really need to know macro or any of that stuff. If you have a leader and a shot caller within your team,
That's the person who tells you what to do, right?
Well, yes. Well,
Nice.
usually people know what items to buy and when their appropriate level spikes are, but you don't know what those are, do you?
No, not yet, but I can probably figure it out, right? That's easier to understand than over-branching things, yeah?
I suppose you're not into the math crunching, but yes, there is an instinct behind these things, I suppose.
Right, so I just gotta feel it out long enough till I memorize it by feeling it.
Right, but there's also meta changes.
Yeah, most sports don't normally have that. So I'm basically gonna need to play a lot more. Well, I mean, I normally learn through doing, so as long as I keep constant, I should be able to catch up, I think.
Well, it's lucky that for now that we're on the same team, since I can perform both roles quite capably.
Aw, yeah! I got the smartest person on my team. I almost forgot. Thanks for reminding me, Chiba.
Most people tend to let their egos, well, take charge over somebody telling them what to do, especially when it comes to this academy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll tell you this now.
Just like, yeah, that was me.
So I'll tell you this now. As long as you follow everything I say on the test day, then you won't fail.
Yeah, definitely. I'm kind of not gonna be like that, I don't think. I want to win, but this is literally something I have to rely on other people for. I'm not gonna forget that. Plus, we're like a team, so we gotta, work together.
As for the 3 other people within our team, well, there's one other person who could have potential, but the other 2 are. I'd be surprised if they stayed within the same class after break.
Right.
So we're going to get at least 2 new team members if we stay together as a duo.
Right. All right. Cool. So should we even worry about the other chick, or just see what happens?
Well, in this scenario, usually I'd play the front-facing role, but well, I can make it so that our lanes have dual setups rather than me being in a solo lane.
That would be useful.
Or you could work with the other first-year Kinsu.
I mean, I could try, but I don't want to be, too much of a weight, if possible.
She's not very vocal.
Would that be a good thing?
In your case, no. You seem like you need directive.
Yeah.
She knows what she's doing, but when it comes to communication and verbal communication with her team, well, she's quite lacking.
I see.
But that's why I decided she'd better be left on an island, which would mean if she takes the solo lane and the rest of us, we can act as duos. I'd rather have you as a duo than the other 2.
Aww. Same here, Chiba.
I'm working with what I have.
That's just your humbleness talking. Anyway, that sounds like a plan. Cool.
Right. So we'll be going through some base techniques. I haven't been able to repair my mod. It seemed that even though I made a backup of it, it seems that those files got corrupted as well. Bad luck, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'll have to do it in person.
Sorry about hearing about how that kind of fell apart. It seemed really cool.
Yes, hopefully I would have made quite a bit of money selling it to the developers, but...
Oh. Well, it's just like the insect testing thing, right?
when it comes to monetary gains, as it is, my scholarship fulfills for my needs at a humble and moderate pace.
Yeah, but
Anything
being humble
else?
and moderate's pretty boring.
It's being rational.
Yeah, but you could use some money to throw around sometimes. How else are you gonna have fun?
People who tend to want to, quote unquote, throw around money tend to rapidly fall into debt and gambling hobbies.
I'm not there yet.
Other addictive qualities can include smoking or drinking.
I'm not there yet.
Good. It would be awful on your record if you were seen doing a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Takinaki?
Yeah.
What part? The demeanor or the scene being doing it?
Well, I suppose, seeing that you've been caught doing one thing before, I suppose that being seen before you being caught being seen doing it is something that you failed upon. So I mean the latter.
Come on, Chiba, play nice. He's working his debts back to society. Slowly.
Technically speaking, I wasn't seen doing it. I confessed to it.
You confessed to it after Simoda's and her stupid heroics. But anyway, I suppose we'll go over the roles then.
Practice.
You've been practicing mostly as a solo adventure, but
Yeah.
you haven't even added me in game.
I don't know how to do that yet.
You didn't see my friend request.
Oh, I was wondering who Sheep was. Sheepa. Alright, so they go practice.
Yes.
Alright, how many should I add? Like a couple study hours then?
If it's before dinner,
Yeah.
I'd say 1 because you spent quite a bit talking. It's not like hard studying.
Alright.
Like she is going to give you a bonus when it comes to your
Yeah.
when it comes to your exam
Sick.
for the teamwork portion. For the solo, no.
Sick.
What-
Alright, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks,
So you
Chief
can add an
Chan.
owl. You can add an owl.
An owl. I will draw an owl.
Is that another cat?
I didn't do a cat for the next one, but I should do.
I got confused. I thought you were gonna make another cat.
I should make more cats. I'll branch off on this one. Don't worry.
So,
All right.
how many ticks is each cat? I mean,
It's 5.
5.
okay.
It looks like 6, but it's 5.
Yeah,
Listen, the
it's just
circle's
5
part
with
of
the
the
head.
same line. The circle's part of the same line.
Ah, that makes perfect sense.
It does. It's a continuous stroke. All right, cool. Thanks, Chica Chan.
Alright. I don't think there'd be any more ding dongs. So at the dorm anyway. I can't think of any. So
Okay.
we can go to Reiko's thing then.
Alright. So just to be
So
sure, I'm not, as I go through Jeffrey, like, it's like nothing. And I arrive at Fulbright
Yeah,
Library.
because you'd have to buy more things for Jeffrey.
Oh,
A couple more things.
even more.
Yeah, 'cause he's a bit of a Jew. So
I knew that. Okay, we are getting there. I have 160 credits, J credits with him, so
yeah, the only problem is you bought all of your stuff because you're a new player. So that's why it was kind of I can't just give you a rank 6 because you bought the same amount of stuff. So it's mainly the time.
it's cool. I never was salty about it. As I step in with maybe not strained, but as I try to be cheerful, it's quite obvious that I'm kinda stressed and my everything is strained, and I like try to look around and hello, Fulbright, son, anybody?
Just give me a moment. All right, so you'll hear like a fluttering down, and you'll be like, Fujiwara-san, or should I say Fujiwara the second?
Son is just fine.
Right. It's fairly quiet in the library, you know, demon times and all that. It'll be like, you look like you should be doing anything but studying right now.
Oh, I'm already doing quite a little bit of it before the exams. And this is, I want to believe, something, well, also studying, but that will help me. I remember last time I was here, I politely asked if it will be possible that the books you have found, they are to be like marked and so that I could access them more easily. Are they perhaps available?
Right. I did set them aside for you, but well, it seems like you have my entire free time. I don't have any seminars planned, so I believe it would be good for you. Instead of a more academic pursuit, we go for something a bit more vocational. It would save your eyes from straining from the text, and besides, it might rejuvenate you. I am, as a wimp, I am quite an excellent teacher.
I have no doubt in that. I'm so used to offering people help that I guess it would be hypocritical of me if I didn't accept your.
Right, I heard the easiest way in order for people to get what they want is that you answer their questions as matter-of-factly as you can, rather than trying to go through things that coloured for your own personal lens. So, if you have questions surrounding the subject matter, I will use the knowledge that has been imprinted on me through my previous wizard. And I also have a encyclopedia knowledge of the books that have been mutated into the domain, of course.
That's super useful. I mean,
would you like a drink?
Now that I think about, I mean, if you are offering, then that would be delightful. I'll be on.
Yes, we've had a moderate amount of maca flown in. The dungeon downstairs is quite useful for generating emotions.
Oh, actually, that was a question I wanted to ask him, that you help me if I can like inform the others, my friends.
Oh yes,
the dungeon becomes a problem.
I did put up a request, but well, I didn't have much to offer, so it got lowered down on the priority list. But tea, coffee. Acidic.
I'm more of a tea person.
Wait, what kind of tea?
I don't know if I think from the offer, it can be tea. It might be iced. It can be.
Green, iced, Earl Grey, chai.
A green is just. I'm sure, Fulbright son, that whatever tea you have, it will be.
Right. And he will fly upwards and then come back downwards with a tea cup. So,
Thank you.
questions? You have questions I will answer.
Yes, I believe I have some at the very least. Now I need to think about, because I imagine I will be just, yeah, I spent time reading stuff and then just told me what. But shambles me with that. So I didn't even hear that there was a slime offered. Besides, I don't think Reiko would be interested in slime. Yeah. Doesn't sound like nice, but Rio might be interested. Okay, so for questions, from what I've learned, from the basic I've learned, I know that my heirloom thing that I had, the power that I put, that we of Fujiwara clan used to guide people, or I guess like do soul search. Usually it's for the best if it requires. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, from my knowledge of old world Japanese texts, it would seem that the Fujiwara rather slacked on that duty. It was more their predecessors, the Nakatomi, before they were given the title Fujiwara from the emperor at the time. But yes, that's you Fujiwara and the Nakatomi, they still seem the same lineage. It's just the Fujiwara focused more on the arts and cultures of the Heian period rather than through priestly doings. In fact, they were most opposed to the uprising Buddhist movement within the realm.
Yes, I appreciate the knowledge of that. Once I had big dreams how to like mend the rift, but then I realized I have like other important stuff to deal with, stuff that I can actually have a chance at of success or of an undertaking.
When it comes to the philosophical differences between the time of the Nakatomi and the time of the Fujiwara time extenuates quite significantly compared to the time when they were at least recognized within the mythos as Nakatomi. So there should be cultural strains within your heirloom ability that will basically act as an internal guide to how you should proceed. Like I mentioned earlier, the Fujiwara are based in culture, in the arts, in poetry, especially in the form of waka. And this in terms that guided the culture that was, it didn't much affect the peasantry since they were cultivating the rice paddy fields, but when it came to the nobility, it was a small inner circle that was, it's lasted the most throughout history. Most people associate the samurai with the Tokugawa period and the Edo. But I suppose I may have gone on a bit long in that regard. The point I'm trying to make quite simply is that, yes, you have the ability in order to shape domains that have formed within people and to decorate it, I suppose. But the way that your power differentiates between each Fujiwara member is through how you do such thing and where you draw your influences from, rather than a more straightforward power like the Taira or the Minamoto, where minute differences aren't so apparent within the different family members' uses of their heirloom abilities.
Okay, I knew some of it. Thank you for asking, but what I was getting at, I know, and I don't want to suggest anything else. I want to think of myself as a good person. It's usually said that the safest way to practice this power is when you cooperate with that person you want to offer a guidance. And through the books and diaries that you know, are there any examples when that wasn't the case, when somebody used this power without cooperating with that person he was helping, but he felt or she felt that she was in the.
Well, I suppose there's two different accounts. Those who believed they were doing the right thing, but it's written in between the words that their methodology wasn't exactly looked upon, or those who believed they were doing the right thing and they've actually helped the people who are obstinate towards it. It depends on what perspective you wish to read, really. One can tend to be more biased than the other.
Of course, it's just that it's not a big secret. I mostly now think how to use this power to help my cousin, and sometimes she has trouble accepting my help, and considering what I know about my power up until now, it would be problematic if she, well, doesn't cope.
I might have to pause for a bit.
Yeah, I...
Got the hiccups.
Yeah, hiccups are a pain.
As you see, I'm full. Fucking nice.
It happens. Not something.
Yes, that means you need to get spooked. Go start googling skeletons.
Get spooked, it reminds me of that old cartoon. I don't remember how it was called in English. It was about this small pink dog that was living on a farm.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yes, this one!
Yeah.
And then there was this farmer was like, "Booga booga booga."
Yep.
Stupid dog. Yeah.
Yet it always saved his life.
I mean, stupid nor stupid. Yeah, he was the hero in the end most of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, just you can
Well, the
go...
farmer spent almost every episode's ending as something other than human.
You can go drink something. Maybe it usually helps.
I just tried to do the breathing thing.
That's unlucky.
Okay.
That's why I'm breathing heavily.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes maybe not that often, but when I like hiccup once or twice and you don't let it out, my chest fucking hurts in those moments.
You have high-pitched hiccups, my dude.
I know, right? It just gives away my gender.
Yeah, it gives away your 12-year-old boy. 12-year-old Australian boy.
I only am reminded of these memes, traps. It's not gay if it's cute.
Yeah, man, traps aren't gay.
Which,
Okay,
to
they're
be
all
fair,
wrong.
we have our own example on this campaign. It's
Maybe
super.
you need like some.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you need some water, Jess.
I'll go away eventually. It doesn't help that my nose is blocked.
Maybe you should go clear your nose.
Mm.
Mm.
God, that one came out.
Well, that gives me time to figure it out about more regarding this shit.
There you go.
I won't do is talky, but which one did you want? The one where it's like, yeah, I helped people, but it's like, but well, people didn't like it, or the one I helped people without them wanting, and like, yeah, it actually helped.
I think considering my Reiko's current mindset and the stress that she has, she wouldn't like to hear that she's doing something good, but that's not like. So she would try to look for affirmation that what she's doing is okay. So she will take the latter. Yeah, the former, the latter.
Any other questions?
like, does he know? Are there any examples, like, if somebody screws up? Like, basically, I'm asking for like, fluff-wise, I cannot give like say it properly. Mechanics-wise, I'm asking, are there any examples that say what happens if I fuck up the roll?
Oh, like based on it depends on what you're trying to sort out. Like if it's like a minor thing, then you'll have a minor consequence. But the more fundamental it is to the person, the more it will change them fundamentally.
Okay, and
Depending
does
on-
it say that? Does that change means it will be like something bad? Yes, that I screw something with their soul and it leaves them broken.
All right, let's say somebody is Psy and you want to give them more confidence. If you fuck up, it would probably make them even more cripplingly Psy to the point where they don't want to come out of their room ever again, or it would make them super
Oh,
duper
yeah.
confident to the point where they're literally grabbing onto everybody.
Yeah, I just instead of mending their not mistake.
Yeah, I guess it would be like akin to like you giving them a trauma, and that trauma really affects.
Yeah,
their
yeah.
personality.
Well, shit. I will probably. I'm pretty sure before I was doing stuff with Katsumi, I would be like, "Hey, Koharu, mind giving me that charm of yours or something? However, is it called?" I will need
The way
it for
that
Right.
the way that Reiko's ability works is that it has two forms. The main thing is that you'll be able to go into like other people. Only Reiko and other members of the Fujiwara that you know of currently can do that, including Katsumi. And then it's also making stuff that gives you higher chances of success, like objects that you put in people's minds.
Yeah,
that you travel
sacred
through.
aspect.
Yeah,
Okay.
so obviously if you go into somebody's mind without putting like things you prepared in there, you're gonna have a hard time. If you go in there alone, as you currently are, you probably fail.
Yep, that's also good.
Like meta-wise, if you wanna get good TM, like the way it works is that you can draw inspiration based on the people you talk to. Like obviously your father has techniques that he uses within his slots, and then Katsu has different techniques that he uses, and vice versa. And you can also gain inspiration from the people you talk to and stuff. Like if they're like a mindset, like yes, I want to personify that in a thing I can take into somebody's domain. Then you can basically say like, "Hey, Gem, what would that be?" And I can pretty much tell you, gain the ability to like make objects and fill up slots and stuff.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
there's also the Rio and Reiko thing. If Rio decides to tell Reiko what he is,
Eventually,
Yeah, that'd
in
be
like
horrible.
5 months.
yes, it would be a very bad.
Hello, I'm the one to overthrow your families. Ha!
as I mentioned, I mean, that would be really interesting scene to place. I'm not gonna say what Reiko's reaction would be and what she would say. Instead, my next, sadly mechanical question. I mean, in character, I say something like...
Yeah, obviously in character you're saying it, but I'm just saying it meta-wise. So
Yeah,
it
You
makes
just,
sense.
yeah, so basically just discussing
Mechanic
that life like you would
question. I see that I already have like Tori as my aspect large item. Does
Yeah.
he has any knowledge from Fujiwara stuff, like what other aspects like Tori might be, like hints or...
I guess other aspects would be like traditional
Exorcist?
yes. You get to
Extortionist.
extort people.
Exorcists. Jesus.
Yeah. So you have like Katsumi. You weren't here at the time, but Katsumi has I think it's a Kagura. That's one of her techniques as well. And a Kagura is a traditional dance. So I think it
Okay.
is anyway.
So basically, like mechanics wise, those aspects will come to me over the course of my like doing something.
Yeah, So if you like bring it up to like members of like the Necroterian Foods, I'll be like, yeah, I have this technique, I can teach you. For other people, it would be like more like how basically more time you spend with them, the more like you'll be like, yeah, you can probably translate that into a thing that Reiko can make.
Okay.
Like it's a very open-ended ability. I didn't put like hard line how you can find out techniques.
Yeah,
It's basically based on the scene.
It's good, but this is something that Reiko would ask. She would want to know if this is something that she needs to, like, path of self-enlightenment or not. And another mechanic question, what about development level? Is it also something that is like, if you practice long enough?
Yes, the more you practice, the better you'll be at it. The more you make of it, the more you'll naturally get better at it. So development level is basically because you'll have like because it's basically at the modifier you use up the moment, it's actually a plus 50. But if you use the plus 50 on your very first roll, obviously it's going to be good. So that's what development level means. You unlock more of that modifier relating to it, the more you make of them.
It's okay. Crap, do I? Yeah, just to confirm, I know that I need to have inspiration for creating an aspect. So I'm just trying to like picture myself like fluff-wise in character how this would look like. Like I don't go into somebody's soul, but with their allowance I put something into their soul. I'm just trying to.
You actually like mechanics wise, domains are like they're basically like demons that aren't like personified. Like they don't have like an what's it called, anthropomorphized. Basically, personas are like anthropomorphized myths, and domains are not. And domains are not. They're just myth.
Domains are a pocket dimension.
It will probably come out from like during the play. And
so like most people have a persona, but there's still demons running about without people. Domains are basically like there's domains out there, but domains originated from within people.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, like your safe space inside and dreams and shit.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh boy. There be any more questions regarding this? Yeah, I can't figure anything. Oh.
So
one last.
Every mythopoetic has their inner domain, even if they're a shit tier mythopoetic. They all have an inner domain. And in Japan, the only people who can access it without fucking around is the Necroterian.
So I will just ask this Fulbright for probably only confirmation regarding that priest must have inspiration. So I imagine this means that Fujiwara's like take the inspiration most often from arts.
Yes, arts and like poetry and stuff like that. That's where they get their. That's where the Fujiwara get their inspiration from.
Well, regarding this, I don't have any more questions. So like I'm very grateful for your answers, Fulbright. And I like ponder from. Do you have time? Like I'm asking in and out of character because if this scene went for too long, we can just skip it because Reiko would wonder if she wants to ask him about the end.
Well, most of the time I was hiccuping, so.
Yeah.
Thank you. And would that be a problem if I ask you about a different matter? I recently heard about a thing that has me concerned.
I like I said, I'm free for a while now. So go ahead.
Okay.
Questions not answered are not questions, but
Fulbright-san, what do you know about ascended beings?
Ascended beings? Well, they're usually those who are conceptually ascended from the get-go and those who rise through the ranks.
Okay, but what does it mean? Does it mean that they they don't have like form like me, for example, they are more abstracts.
When it comes to you humans, I believe the term that's been commonly adopted is awakened. But
That's
when it
perhaps this
comes to the awakening, it's basically a unification of all of your ideals, your hopes, and your aspirations, and you've realised them. Your realization of who you wanted to be. Most people don't really achieve who they truly want to be.
Well, sounds slightly... The path of self-enlightenment is not easy.
Well, yes, it's quite the monumental shift, especially when you consider the technicalities behind it. You'll always remain human, but, well,